What's up, everybody? Not Your Average Vape Review coming at you today with the St. Patrick's Day edition. We're going to be reviewing a few things today. I have the RTA of Pope Juice right here, Mr. Cody Jacobs. Say hi.
Hey guys, what's up?
Big Red Machine, aka the Fan Killer, Todd Myers right here.
What's up, Pope Nation?
Fan lives matter, guys. Don't forget that. Alright, guys, today we're going to be reviewing a few things, like I said. Number one is going to be the Advocate Box by Xray Box Mods. The Sherman Tank is going to get reviewed today, as well as Fogaholic Juice Line by Gary Hall. And I'll give you guys information, or as much information as I have on all those products right now, as well as links in the description if I have them. Okay, well, it's the St. Patrick's Day edition, of course, so you see all the lovely green here. We decided to cheese it up just a little bit for you. With that said, before I can start reviewing, these got to go. Because I can't see shit.
Nothing.
Can't see.
The beautiful part is, I have some that I can see with, so I still can look like a tool for you guys and see at the same time. It's a beautiful thing.
Nah, you don't need the glasses to look like that, Pope.
You got a point, you got a point. Alright, I guess we're going to start today, guys, with the Xray Box Mods Advocate Box. What this is, and I'm going to be reading, so forgive me for not looking at you, I apologize. I know eye contact's important, but I can't help that. What this is a Smart Series PWM called the Advocate Mod. It has a 5-click on and off, so when you're using it, if you want to put it in your pocket, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes into lock mode, cannot fire, cannot misfire, and cannot blow up in your pocket, so kind of a neat feature. 5 back off. On here it also shows you, and if you can see that, it's got your battery level, so right now I have 8.2 volts between the two batteries, so they're freshly charged. There's also an 8-second timeout on here, so if you do happen to forget to shut it off in your pocket, that's kind of a cool thing. It'll lock itself out when that happens. Display shows battery state, percentage of power, voltage under load, so when you're hitting it, actually shows you where your batteries are with the load on it. So that's kind of also a great feature. Battery under current cutoff, automatic battery detection against the timer frequency to support different voltages for 2, 3, or 4S applications. So basically, if you decide you want one of these and you want a 3S LiPo on there, you can do that as well. Where did we leave off here? It'll come in either powder-coated, anodized CNC, or mirror-polished CNC boxes with customizable laser etchings and engravings available. The mod uses a high-temp pressure injection molded sled, not 3D, which is kind of important. I've seen a few boxes lately, guys, with the 3D printed sleds. I'm not a real big fan. What do you guys think about those?
Not at all. I have one at home that actually is falling apart. The plastic's breaking. The battery bay is not holding in the battery securely. I have to hold it a very, very specific way for it to even fire for me. I do not like the 3D printed sleds.
Yeah, all the ones that I've seen are the ones that Pope's had over the years. Their durability is the biggest issue with them that I've noticed. So I'm going on the same boat as Cody over there.
So basically, guys, leave the 3D printing to the hand spinners. That's kind of a cool thing. To mention, I do have some of those coming for the next show from Jeremy Whitney of 5 Legs Vapor. So that'll be next time. Keep that in mind. Okay, no 3D. There's a ceramic insulated 510 that's rated for over 1,000 watts. N52 magnets all around for the most secure lid possible. Other options include color, custom lasered MyTech switches, and accent colors. For ordering or wholesale inquiries and warranty information, you can get those directly through Andy Bader of Xray Box Mods. You can hit up his page, facebook.com/Xray Box Mods. Or you can go to the group, which is called the Mental Ward. Let me know if you guys need anything. I do admin in there as well, so I can help you out. I will show you the best I can, because we're not doing uppy-closies, how the insides of this look. Just a standard box, nice and clean. He puts a little skull in the top there, so that's how you kind of know it's his work. Matches the skull here as well. And then I have the Sherman logo here, Asylum Mods logo actually, to go with this. But kicks off a hell of a lot of vapor. I have a 0.37 build in here right now, and it's at 100%. You can scroll through with these buttons. Instead of having the regular potentiometer that goes back and forth on a circle like the Schmexome, we're using the digital style here, and you can actually turn this the whole way down to 0 as well, and it will not fire at all. So really, really, really neat box, if you ask me. Up next, we're going to be reviewing this Sherman tank. This is a 28mm tank. It has dual airflow. There's 3 little holes on each side of the Sherman. which are pretty cool. It does have two different airflow adjustments. I'm not quite sure what those are for because they both serve the same purpose. I guess one whistles, one doesn't. I don't know if that was on purpose. I have quite a few of these guys. They're truly my favorite tank on the market, right above the Modfather in number 2. Huge deck, 4mm coils actually are recommended from the company that makes them. And the wicking, once you get it down, is really easy. There's a review on YouTube, a guy named The Bearded Vapor. He did one, and I watched it once and wicked it once. I've never had a leak. I've seen a lot of people complain, but personally haven't had any leaks. All the new V2s are coming with the Altem tank section here, so that's kind of a nice thing. They're made of stainless steel, 316 stainless steel actually, silver-plated copper positive pin. Stainless steel and Delrin drip tips come with it. Altem tall and short cylinder also come with it. Adjustable AFC ring, twin clamp posts, so it's a velocity style, kind of like the Goon with the clamps. Drip tips are also compatible with Goon and Kennedy. The short configuration holds 2 milliliters, and the tall is 4 milliliters of juice, roughly. And I say roughly because I've had different people say different things, but we'll go with what it says on their website. There's also an optional bubble Altem tank made by Novabox Co. of Canada, and it is not included with the standard Sherman RTA. So, let's go and do some thoughts on the Sherman. We're going to start with you because you happen to have one in front of you.
Yep, I've actually only been rocking this for about a day now. It's one of Pope's, I don't know, how many Shermans do you have now?
4.
About 4 of them. So obviously he's a big fan. And just my brief experience, flavor's on point. I mean, it's better than any of your commercial tanks, so to speak, like your TFV8s, your Baby Beast, your, I don't know, name one of 100 are out there right now.
Right.
Not to mention my biggest issue with those is, holy crap, do they eat expensive coils really quick. Pretty much no matter what you run in through. I mean, some of our juice, you know, we don't use sweeteners for 95% of our juices, so it's pretty clean. And those coils still fry out, get all nasty in a short amount of time. But to talk about the Sherman, flavor's awesome. You can get good cloud production. It's kind of like, for me anyway, it's that nice mix. I'm not really a cloud chaser, much more about the flavor. But I can still chuck pretty good clouds with this, and the flavor's on point. I was vaping off of a Baby Beast just before this. That was kind of my hand-in-hand comparison, and it's night and day, fellas. It's just a different league of tanks altogether. Now you're going to pay for it. What's the price point on these bad boys?
Right about $95 to your door on most of the websites. I know Mad Modder Studios is carrying them right now, so if you want to look for one that you can get right this minute, Mad Modder Studios.
Yeah, but man, that old saying, you get what you pay for, you get a lot for this tank. I mean, you don't only get this, Bob can talk to all the other things that come with it. Now it varies a little bit from my understanding. If I'm not mistaken, this isn't all that just comes when you order a Sherman. No,
I kind of went over that here. It does come short and tall kit, so there's 2 different bells for inside. There's a shorty bell and a tall bell, 2 different Altem pieces, stainless steel drip tip, regular drip tip, all the extra little goodies, extra clamps, extra screws, things like that. Now, I've heard people complaining that it's made in China. Yes, it is made in China. It's made in quite a different way than what your typical clone in China would be made. These things, the machining is just absolutely beautiful. Everything screws down nice and tight. It's like butter. There's no grainy, gritty burrs, nothing fucky at all about it. It's really just an amazingly made tank. Regardless of where it's made, it's being made in a quality facility, not where most of your clones are being made by maybe 6-year-olds. We don't know. Anything you want to tell us about it that you've noticed or liked or disliked?
This is the first time I've actually used this tank itself. You've seen me take about a half a dozen hits off of it. And personally, when it comes to tanks, I like a cooler vapor, and with an open airflow, I always run open airflow, whether it's on my RDA, my tank, RDTAs, my RTAs, whatever it is, I like a cooler vapor. If I buy a tank and it's just hot and it's thick and I just can't vape it, after the half dozen hits I've hit off of this, it's cool vapor, great clouds. I don't have to sit and inhale on it for 10 seconds just to get something with decent clouds. The flavor is great. That's all I can say off the first half dozen hits. I would go buy one.
Perfect. They're well worth the investment, guys. Like I said, $95 is the price tag, give or take here or there, depending who you go through, to the door. But they come with just an amazing amount of stuff. And I know that if you have an issue with them, the owner of the Imperial Vape Company, who has designed and worked with these and made them in that, he takes good care of you. If you have an issue, he's going to make sure that you don't have an issue any longer. So if you have the money, you're in the mood for a really awesome, authentic RTA, guys, Sherman RTA is going to be my #1 choice for tanks as of right now. All right, now with that said, I'm going to move into just another little tip, because everybody out there that we say has an Ultim tank or an Ultim drip tip, they go, well, what the hell's Ultim? I looked it up and I found a very short description of what Ultim is. It is also known as polyethylamide, PEI. It's an amorphous amber to transparent thermoplastic with characteristics similar to the related plastic PEEK.
There's a lot of big words there.
It is. I'm kind of shuffling through them. You noticed that? Fuck. Ultim is a family of PEI products manufactured by SABIC or SABIC, maybe, who knows. I didn't really look into all that. Ultim resins are used in medical and chemical instrumentation due to their heat resistant, solvent resistant, and flame resistant. So it's a pretty strong plastic, to say the least, which is probably why they switched over from the standard plastic they were using that was susceptible to the leaching from pineapples, cinnamons, that kind of thing. You can run anything you want in this tank. You're not going to have a problem with the juice affecting the tank section itself. So that's kind of cool. Before we get into our juice line review, guys, is there anything we want to touch on outside of what we've discussed so far? Crickets. Fucking crickets. Do you hear this?
Crickets.
See, now if I knew how to edit, we would have that right there. Crickets. Okay, with that said, I know I watched a video recently about trying to get President Trump to repeal the FDA's regulations. Maybe we can talk about that. Have we all seen that video?
I haven't seen the video, but I read the article about it.
Perfect. Same principle. I know you've seen the video because we watched it together, so that's that. Basically, guys, what they're trying to do is get President Trump to repeal these stupid regulations and make it a little more business-friendly so that tens of thousands of people are not losing their companies and hundreds of thousands of people are not losing work. All these vape shops are already closing down. People are closing their doors right now, and they shouldn't have to do that. This is a business. I'm all for regulating caps and regulating, specific things, but they've taken it overboard. Anybody?
One thing I can say is I've noticed a lot of people have dropped off of vaping itself, whether it's leaving groups or looking on the Facebook market section, seeing people selling lots of vape juice in boxes and tanks because they just don't want to deal with it anymore. They're afraid that the FDA is just going to shut down the vaping industry. They're afraid of anything and whatnot. But if you like vaping and you feel like, personally, I've been off cigarettes for 15 months now, almost 16. Personally, I've made a lot of friends through vaping and become a part of a community that's not just a community or a business aspect, but as a family in general. So for me, fighting for our rights to be able to vape and instead of smoking is a really big thing for me. Another big thing to touch on as well is, like he said, regulating certain things like the caps for being child safety. You look at cigarettes, those aren't child safety.
Hell no.
A 3-year-old can open a pack of cigarettes. It's not hard. And the biggest thing I always tell people with vaping, and I've seen people not just quit vaping and be done completely, just go back to smoking, or is why would you go back to something that's 7,000 things you can't even pronounce? They don't even list the ingredients on the boxes.
Is huge.
They can't even list the ingredients on the boxes. So how can you trust something, or a company, Big Tobacco or whoever makes all cigarettes, to give you something that's going to be helpful or something that you're addicted to and something that you like? Pope here can easily, in any of his juices or any of these companies that we're about to review, will be able to list anything that's in their juices that you use on a daily basis.
Yep.
Really. That's the biggest thing I tell people. I'd rather have 4 things going into my body that I know for sure, whether I vape or if I eat or consume anything else that's going into my body, whether it's inhaling or eating and congesting it. That's the biggest thing for me, is people don't understand how much vaping actually helps you with your respiratory. Honestly, it's not good for you necessarily. I'm not going to say that at all.
It's not better than air. I mean, air is the most easy thing to breathe in that's good for you. But as far as comparing it to the cigarettes, it's 95% safer according to the Royal College of Physicians.
I mean, I watched a video of some guy talking about it, and he had said If you go into New York City, if you go up onto a skyscraper up to see the city, the air up there is actually a lot less safe to breathe than it is to vape.
Oh yeah,
Because you have the smog and the factories and whatever is up there, all the car exhaust that is in the air. It is a lot less unsafe than vaping. Another thing I can also touch on, because me and my girlfriend talked about it yesterday. She has cystic fibrosis. Don't know if you know what that is. Don't know if Todd knows what that is. Basically, it's a breathing, I wouldn't say breathing disease, something you're born with. Basically, your lungs fill up with mucus. That's just a whole other thing if you want to look it up. It's called cystic fibrosis. When she's around cigarettes, she can't breathe. She has a hard time breathing. It builds up. Her doctor says she cannot be around smoking. He told her yesterday that she really shouldn't be around my vaping, but in the long run, it can still affect her. So it still has some kind of long-term effect. But she said that the doctor had told her, or even my doctor told me when I quit smoking, he'd much rather see me vape the rest of my life than smoke another pack of cigarettes.
That's absolutely true. Todd can actually touch on that, our fan killer here. He can give a little more information. He has asthma, so...
Yeah, I've been an asthmatic all my life. Kind of the same story that Cody just said with cigarettes. Being around with smoking them, sends me in a twirl when it comes to my, the lung just kind of seizing up. I can vape all day, I can vape all night, and it doesn't bother me. I don't have any reaction to it. So that by itself tells me the health versus, the old analog cancer stick that people still smoke. And kind of jumping back into the FDA regs, I think the majority of us, especially business owners, understand that these FDA regulations have very little to do with public safety's interest in mind. It's simply a barrier to entry for just about every vape company on the planet. Everybody. It encompasses everybody because it basically just shuts it down. It basically takes 99% of its existing industry and throws it away, throws it to the side. I don't see how that's public interest, public safety's interest. It's simply a business move by Big Tobacco.
Well, look at other countries. I mean, all the other countries are promoting people to vape instead of smoke. We're the only idiots that are promoting, let's shut everything down and keep giving money to these companies who are killing people daily.
Right. The biggest difference between our country and theirs, so to speak, is how infiltrated Big Tobacco is in our financial system. You want something fun to just real easy research? Look at states and debts on tobacco bonds. That'll tell you everything you need to know right there. Specifically California, which I think is currently the largest debtor of tobacco bonds.
That's another country anyway, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is pretty much another country. I mean, there's plenty of other examples of it, but you can't tell me that isn't influenced in their decisions. We know it's all about money.
So I don't know the exact numbers of what the loss of Big Tobacco was last year when it comes to profits. I just personally feel like all these bigger companies, for example, like the bigger box companies and juice companies, just Kanger, Sigelli, these bigger companies that everybody's heard of, I feel like are the only ones that are not going to necessarily be affected by it. They're still going to be affected by it because they're a vape industry. But when it comes to Big Tobacco wanting to crack down on these, being crybabies about how much money they're losing, instead of supporting these people who are bettering their own lives and bettering themselves, and when it comes to the health aspect, like you said, they just don't care. When these companies are failing, the small companies are shutting down, Big Tobacco is going to look at these big companies that are struggling and say, I want to invest in your company. I want to give you a portion, but I want something back.
Right.
So then they can make their money in the profit margin, then everybody's going to be able to vape again. As long as the tobacco tax on, there's tobacco tax going to be on boxes now.
Well, the other problem with you mentioning Sigelli, Kanger, a lot of those are made in other countries. So they're not getting the same exact regulations that we're getting here as far as box manufacturers and things being able to or not being able to make their products. Whereas over there, it's going to be a lot easier for them to make it because there's still people allowed to use them in other countries, and they're trying to shut us down for a monetary purpose. I love neighbors, don't you?
They're spectacular.
Sorry about the dog.
Luckily, they're not my neighbors. So.
Yeah, well. So, we've touched on all that. We should probably...
I want to say one more thing about the FDA thing. People that know business and kind of like just the simple rules of it. Just to give you a little background, I have a couple business degrees. That's kind of how I fell into this with the Pope, is looking over his financials one day and boom, rest is history. So a lot of times we're coming to market with any product that we want to make a lot of money on. It's all about timing. So what did Big Tobacco happen to them? Well, they were a couple years late to the game. So everybody else has a jump on them in the business. So it's really hard to establish a business when you're 3, 5, 7 years late getting into it, when all these products already exist. The money that you'd have to invest to catch up to them would be astronomical. Now they have billions of dollars, of course, to do so, but why spend the billions when you can just pad a couple pockets in Washington and take care of that issue altogether?
Very true.
Just wanted to touch on that from the business end of things.
No, that's a good idea because I mean that's kind of what you do. Is you're the businessman, and so that's important for you to have that information. That's why we have this going on. That's why you're here.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then I'm trying to keep that fan over there safe.
I swear on everything I believe in, if you touch that fan,
pretty
we're
sure.
gonna have fucking words.
Listen, I had nothing involved. I don't ever come down here. It's my first time at the Pope's house. I'm in between you guys and the fan. I don't know who did it, but I represent. That's part of my job. I represent that fan. You stay away.
You stay away. Old Durcraft over there is still kicking, all right? So, we're going to get into our review of Fogaholic juice from Gary Hall and Misty Hall. They are located, I believe, in Georgia. I'm not going to quote that 100%, but that's my remember. I'm thinking it's Georgia. So we're going to go with that. These guys have lots and lots and lots and lots of flavors, like Pope Juice does. So I'm not going to... Yeah, there's a hell of a list right there. Without counting, there's 3 rows on a piece of paper this big. What they did was took the liberty of sending me their top 8 of their top 9. And what we have is Point Blank, which is fresh baked grandma's cookies. Prestige white chocolate macadamia nut, which is what we have in here.
Oh, that was good.
Gold is the perfect blend of Point Blank and Prestige to give you the best of both worlds. Collateral blue raspberry cotton candy. Speechless peach infused strawberries. I have to touch on that one. I picked up a really cool Stabwood box from Joey Flippo. And, well, besides the fact that I dropped it and I have to get it fixed already because I'm an idiot. I bought a Hadley RDA. I bought the Altem one-piece top cap for it. And I was using Speechless, which would be this one right here. As you can see, I put quite a bit of juice through that thing in the 6 hours I had it before I dropped it.
Yeah, and then you dropped it just like the fan.
Hey, now leave the fan out of this. Poor Stan, guys. I mean, come on. I get blamed for this, but I mean, I kind of have an idea, you know. Peach infused strawberries were absolutely delicious through the Hadley. That is one of the best flavor Addies I've had, and it was delicious. Frag Out is bottom of the bowl of a Fruity Loopy cereal. Wonder what cereal that could be.
Fruity Loopy?
Fruity Loopy, yeah.
Wow.
It's like the Walmart version, right?
Right.
The Kroger has a version, I think it's called Fruit Circles.
That's same principle. And then we have 2 that are relatively close in name, but nowhere near the same in flavor. We have Harley Quinn and Haley Quinn. Harley Quinn is a lemon drizzled pound cake, and Haley Quinn is a strawberry drizzled pound cake. I can tell you I have not tried all of these. As you can see, I've tried a few of them. I've had a few of the other juices from Fogaholic as well. It's been a couple years now. This guy's been around for some time like we have. Everything I've had from them has been what it says it's supposed to be. If it tells you peach-infused strawberries, that's what you're going to taste. I know this Prestige here, the white chocolate macadamia cookie, this is one of my absolute favorite flavors, not from them, but of all time. I have vaped through a ton of Prestige, and it's just absolutely great. I will have a website if they have one in the description. As of right now, I don't have it in front of me because I never check my messenger. But really good juice, guys, so pick some of that up if you get a chance. It's delicious. Like I said, it's in the Sherman right now. I have the Fuse Clapton building here, and it's just stellar. Can't beat it. All right, I have one other juice company to touch on. I don't want to be too mean. I'm going to be as nice as possible. We went to ECC. I'm sure you guys saw on Facebook, if you're part of my Facebook, that I did a live video and a little bit of shooting from ECC. Met all kinds of great people down there, of course. We have some intros for the show here as well that'll be shown later. But we ran into a company down there called the Juice Punk. Now I'm walking around ECC in the United States, in Michigan, thinking, what better than having all these great companies here? So I take a look at a few. Black Unicorn was another one. I thought their stuff was good and brought it home and vaped the hell out of it. It actually is delicious. They're out of California. The Juice Punk, if I can get my fat ass to the end of the table here. Super cool 60 ml Chubby Gorilla bottles. Neat little cat on the front. Walked up to their booth. It was, how would you describe it?
Kind of looked like I don't know, like a workshop, like a steelman workshop.
There you go.
Worker workshop, something like that. All like real dark, deep woods. They all had like, welding, what are those
Aprons?
called? Aprons on,
Poor guy. Kills a fan. He can't remember shit after that. It's terrible.
I'm just keeping my eye on it.
It's PTSD for him.
So, really, really awesome looking booth. And I mean, it drew me in. It made me walk up and go, okay, what the hell is this? I checked out, I can't remember how many flavors they have. They give me a sheet, but I'm not even sharing all that. I looked at 3 flavors, tried 3 flavors. They were all delicious. They had these nice little tanks there that super flavor machines, apparently. Now, mind you, the Sherman is a great flavor machine as well. But I got these juices home. I've tried 2 of them so far. The third one I don't know that I'm even going to bother with at this point. But watermelon, so it's a double watermelon called Bear's Hardware. These guys are out of Canada, first of all, so I don't know what the rules are for ordering e-juice from Canada to here, but I know that we're not supposed to ship it over there because of the nicotine. It will get caught in customs and taken away, blah, blah, blah. This thing was delicious when I tried it at ECC. I also tried Sasha's Law, which was a sweet tobacco, delicious, delicious juice at ECC. And I get home and I rebuild my Sherman and I'm all fucking geeked. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And I grab it and I take a big fucking rip and I'm coughing my lungs out, guys. I've been vaping 1.5 and 3 all the time. Now, they brag about organic vegetable glycerin on the front of here, so I'm assuming they're doing something right. Conforms to FDA existing standards. I don't know what nick they're using or flavoring they're using. Something's fucked. Both these juices made me cough terribly. Instead of doing my normal rinse out on the Sherman, I took the wicks out, burned them off, cleaned them up, re-wicked it, put a new juice in. I could not get rid of the cough from this Sasha's Law sweet tobacco. It took me a couple days to get the flavor out of there. I'm just not impressed. The setup they had was great. The juice flavor they had was great. Getting it home, putting it on something that I use every day, not such a good experience.
If I remember, the testers were really good at that booth, though.
They were amazing. I fell in love with it. I only bought juice from 2 places the whole time I was at ECC. And I don't ever buy juice, so that should tell you something. You guys know me. I don't buy juice very often. This stuff was phenomenal. And then I get it home, and it's just fucked. That's where it's at. Yeah, give them a sniff. And
I was curious what the bottling date was on it. Sometimes...
I don't know if they have them on here. Oh, expires 2 of 18, so it was bottled 2 of 17 because everybody knows a year is...
So, basically ECC was around that time. So these were bottled, taken. I think we should come back and review on these and actually vape them.
I agree. I think we should give them a month steep and come back because all juice changes. We know that.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time I hear of a company, especially at a trade event like that, so to speak, that has testers of very well steeped juice and then sells fresh, or like a week or 2 steep on them, so to speak.
Yeah,
I was just telling you about that about one of yours. I had a really hard time vaping. It was just a 3-nic. It was an orange and cream. It was Oblation Orange.
Oblation Orange, yeah.
I had a really hard time vaping it, and I vape through your juice like it's nothing. Like, it's great juice.
Yeah.
So I had that bottle sitting in months, and I had to almost cry and shed a tear every time I seen it. Little bottle is saying, vape me. No. But I popped it in my RTA the other day. It wasn't harsh. It was great flavor. I just think maybe
I think you're probably right. I think that's probably a good idea. I don't want to knock them completely. I was just unimpressed. 90% of our juices vape well fresh. They just get better when they're steeped. There's a few, of course, like you said, Oblation Orange, which is an alcohol-based flavoring. That's a little bit different. So when it sits, of course, that's going to mellow out. So let's say maybe these will, guys. The Juice Punk, we're going to come back to these guys in about 4 or 5 weeks, and I'm going to put them in the steep cabinet until then and see if they improve. I really hope they do, because I swear on everything I believe in, or don't believe in, that these things were amazing at the show. The flavor profiles were great. Everything about them was delicious, and I was just unimpressed now with them when I got home. And again, it was literally right when I got back from ECC, so it's been, 3 weeks now?
About that.
So
it was about that time they were bottled, too. So.
Yeah, and that one has darkened up quite a bit. That was a little more clear before. So with that said, guys, we're not going to give them a complete thumbs up or thumbs down review. We're just going to say For now, I'm not
Sideways.
impressed. Yeah, sideways,
Caesar's
exactly.
hand just waiting to go up or down.
Yes. So that's where we're at. We're going to come back 4 or 5 weeks and take another look at the Juice Punk. Maybe between now and then I'll find out if you can get this stuff shipped to the States, because as of right now I don't know, because of the regulation laws at the border that I know we run into when friends of ours from Canada say, hey, can we get some juice? Well, I can send you zero, Nick, but I can't really do much else.
How do they have to have something special to come over here from Canada and then back over?
Yeah, I don't
Or
really
they have
know.
to basically sell or give it all away and just say we can't go back with anything.
Yeah, as far as traveling with it, I wonder how that would work.
I wonder if you have a business license for your juice and everything on your juice has the labels, you might be able to.
Yeah.
You might have to go through customs or
I
something.
don't know. To be honest, we've never had to deal with anything shipping from Canada to us.
Well, he's talking more about them driving over, though.
Right, but I imagine the same laws would apply. I mean, I don't imagine you can bring a whole box of, nicked e-liquid over the border, even in your car.
True.
I'm not sure, to be honest. It's just something we haven't dealt with. So.
Yep. So we're going to get the information and find out about that as well. But quick recap before we have any last little bit of fuckery or discussion. Andy Bader's box mods, Xray box mods, absolutely amazing. That will get a 2 thumbs up from me because I love them.
I loved mine until I did something with the batteries. That thing just shorted out. I don't think it was his fault. I think it was mine. I think I had some bad wraps. I can show you those batteries that I had.
That's possible.
I think that was my fault, but while I was vaping on it for the 4 days I had it, it was perfect. The double thumbs up for me. So
Cool.
Yeah, I don't have one. Pope's got, I don't know how many you got.
Well, 4 or 5 right now. I gave one to him, and I have one that might be getting sold shortly. I'm not positive just because I have too much stuff. But I also am ordering another one, the 3S LiPo box like this with this smart PWM. So that's going to be neat. When that gets here, we'll of course do a review on that as well.
And before you go on to something else, right after I broke it, within seconds, I contacted Andy, and he said, you know what, ship it down. He's like, ship it with some money. He said if it's an error by him, he's just going to fix it. He can tell whether it's user error or him. And like Pope said, he trusts he'll trust his judgment. He'll, what's the word for it? It's, see, another awkward pause.
You're gonna fuck me up, man.
He puts his word on it that he's a good guy and he works well with you. I contacted Andy. He's like, you know what? If it's user error, he's like, just $35. I'll put a brand new chip in it for you. He's like, if it's a manufacturer error, he's like, I'll just fix it and send your money back. It's not a big deal to ship it down to me. And I'll have it back within a week or two, whatever it is.
Andy's a great box builder, guys. First of all, he does great work, clean work. He's been around as long as I've been in this game. I remember when I was still making juice in my house for the first 3 weeks of Pope Juice. I literally was making juice in my house because it wasn't meant to turn into anything. So Andy and I talked, and we did a little juice trade for a box, and a friend of mine actually that works at one of the local vape shops picked that up off me for a competition. He still uses it every day religiously. He makes great boxes. He's a really good businessman. He's very honest. I can't say enough about the guy. He's just an absolutely amazing person. He definitely is above other modders in my eyes because he won't sell to someone if they don't have the knowledge to use the box. I've had a couple people come to me, where'd you get your box? And I'd send them over, and he'd come back like, hey man, your buddy doesn't seem like they've been doing this long enough. Like, he doesn't want to put something this powerful in the hands of somebody who can't use it and doesn't have the knowledge. He doesn't want to blow anybody up. So he's a very, very honest, great guy for that as well. Once again, that's going to be Xray Box Mods. The Mental Ward is the name of the group, so go check them out.
He just made some boxes for Vaporgate, didn't he?
He did. He did boxes for Vaporgate. He's got boxes going over to like Iceland and stuff. I mean, he's moving up quick with these boxes.
That's awesome.
So if you don't have one and you're in the mood for one, I don't have the liberty to discuss pricing. That's something you take up with him. But they're worth every penny, or I wouldn't have as many as I do. One thing I would like to touch on. Everybody knows I've been using this awesome Stabwood box, the Osmotis Minikin Kodama 150. It's been working like a champ. But I do want to mention, and I don't even know if there's any available. If there is, I will link the description as well. The Omni Rda by Vaporgate.com. I'm not going to be doing a review on this, guys, because it's limited to 250 pieces, and it's a $120 RDA set. But I do want to tell you that from my experience with RDAs, like the last one that I loved was the Goon, and I used it and used it and used it, and I tried a bunch of other stuff, and I wasn't impressed. Once I've gotten this thing, I literally have not set it down since. Super well machined as well. It has the pulseless deck here. You can do single, double coils. I have a huge fused Clapton coil in here right now, and it does its job. Very little juice, very low wattage. It's still kicking ass. So if they're still available, I will link that in the description and let you guys know where to pick up the Omni. It's 2 full RDAs. It's a pulseless and a velocity style with the clamps. Comes with 2 honeycomb tips, 2 Delrin tips, 5 different airflows. Basically what they did was they took all the good stuff from the Mason and the Alliance and put them into this RDA. So if you're in the market for something high-end, this is worth getting. Anything else we need to touch on, gentlemen?
No.
Besides ourselves, because that's later.
Giggity.
Giggity.
All right.
No, nothing really to touch on. I see that we're getting about the end of our time limit. What I think we should do is, just for the people that have watched this far and watched our idiocy up until this point,
I like it.
I think they should get a little treat.
Okay.
So, everybody that's watching the video, in the comments below, hashtag #FanLivesMatter, and I'll give you a $50 credit. We'll pick a winner and give you a $50 credit on Pope Juice. So.
All right. Amen to that, brother. Yes. I kind of dig that. So, once again, to get through what he flubbed through, Fan Lives Matter is the hashtag. We want you to throw that down in the comments on the YouTube channel, right? Not Facebook, just YouTube?
YouTube.
YouTube only. Fan Lives Matter, hashtag in the comments, and what's the cutoff to enter? Because this is going to be up forever.
We'll cut it off.
Wednesday next week?
Yeah.
4 or 5 days?
Give it a, yeah.
All right.
I'll do a little extra bonus since I'm not really with Pope Juice in the points of being employed or anything. If there's a company out there who's actually washed up to this far, I will do a free, whether it's a juice menu or an ad for you. It's something quick, something easy for me to do. Just comment, like I said, Fan Lives Matter below. And then if you are a vaping business, whether you make box mods or you make tanks, RDAs, juice, you can make cotton bacon. That's Cotton Bacon's actually the name of the company. You make cotton for your juice. You make pre-made coils, whatever it is, comment below your company as well. And if we end up picking one with the company, I will as well do an ad for you guys.
That's awesome. He's done great work. He's done a bunch of ads for us. He works on the Instagram for us. He did some work for Southern Sky E-Liquids as well. Really cool stuff, man. It just, if you need a flavor card to send out with your wholesale orders or whatever, this is the guy. So if you don't win and you want to get some stuff, Cody Jacobs, either through me or find him on Facebook, and he can help you out with that kind of thing as well.
Well, I guess I can say it doesn't have to be a vaping company either.
Yeah, it could be anything.
If you own a business, let me know and I can do that. Heck, if you're even planning, say, your son's graduation party this year, I'll make up your flyers for you. I'll do something like that. So it doesn't have to be vaping related. Just if you have a company or a need for something like that, I'll make sure it gets done.
Amen, brother.
Very cool.
All right, so I guess that's going to bring us to the end of our very first edition, also the St. Patrick's Day edition of Not Your Average Vape Review. These guys are looking absolutely stellar over here.
Freaking dapper.
I didn't wear a green shirt. I missed that memo.
Well, you did a little better than I did last night. At least your shirt has a whole logo on the front and it's white. My shit, I looked like I was like just a head and arms last night when I did the teaser. So it was fun regardless. I think we've had a good time here doing this today. It's going to get more improved. It's going to be a little bit more... What are the
Better
words?
quality.
Better quality. We're working on
We're
that.
more polished. We're a little rough right now, but
Hey,
it's like
taste is
anything
subjective.
starts off.
Taste is
Quality
subjective.
is not.
This man, yes, absolutely. Oh, before we end the show, speaking of that, guys, if you're watching this between now, which is the 16th of March, and March 24th, you can head over to www.teespring.com/pope-juice and pick up one of our limited run t-shirts or hoodies. The front says what's in your e-juice, and the back says taste is subjective, quality is not, with a very small website for us on the back. So go ahead and pick one of those up and represent one of your favorite companies, which is Pope Juice. Yes?
I like it.
Are we good?
Yep.
Until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching Not Your Average Vape Review. And we're going to get a cloud right at the camera as best as we can. Have a great day. Vape on.